Who are the Igbos? Where do they come from? Before we move on to answer these questions, and in accordance to our last video, we established who are the Igbos? Where do they come from? Before answering this question, we want to establish that the Luos and the Igbos have so much in common: names, languages, and cultures. Just like the Igbo people are scattered all over the world, all over Africa, you have the Luos as well, scattered all over Africa and the world. You can find the Luos in Cameroon, Congo Zaire, Congo Brazzaville, Chad, Gabon, the Central African Republic, Nigeria, Igbo, Ghana, north of Ivory Coast, north of Liberia, and the Gambia-Senegal border. Now you have some of them in Kenya. We saw that in the last video that we posted a few days ago. You have them in Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Tanzania. And so, who are these descendants of Luos? Who are they? Now let's go back to Igbo. Who are we? Where do we come from? Some people say we are the lost tribe of Israel. Others say we came from Israel. And some say the Israelites came from us. Take a listen.
There is this mistake that the world usually make. They make this mistake that the Igbos came from the Jews. No, it is the other way around. The truth be told, the first human race that existed was the Igbos before the Jews. And we were all living together at the center of tropical rainforest, which is the heart of the whole thing, the land of expansion. We were all living together as one big happy family before they started moving clockwise. They started moving towards the eastern part of the world, where they started settling. So the race of the Jews and the Igbos are very similar, but the Igbos are way older than the Jews. They are both commercially driven. They are both enterprise in nature. They are both driven by wealth, because that is their ancestral belief. That's the race they belong to.
Okay, let us listen to this one.
While some accounts insist that the Igbo are indigenous to where they are now, others suggest that they came from around the River Benue, while others suggest that the Igbo came from the land of Israel. The predecessor of the present ruler of Onitsha, one of the principal cities in Igbo land, Obi of Okagwe, is actually on record declaring a kinship between the Igbo and the biblical people of Israel. According to the late Obi of Okagwe's account, the founder of Enri, whose name was Eri, who came from the Israelite tribe of Gad, traveled from Egypt, arrived at the confluence of the river Niger, Manu, and Anambra. This man named Eri then lived there as an alien among the people he met, and somehow managed to become their high priest and judge in much the same way as Samuel in the Bible ruled Israel.
Okay, so these people are not Igbo, yet they seem to have an ample knowledge, a passed down history of who Igbo are. Today, we are going to share the deep characters of Igbo. And welcome to My African Village TV, your guide to the hidden treasures of Africa. Igbo are from West Africa, today's West Africa. Habo, an ancient civilization whose daring bravery, agricultural mastery, we'll see that in a bit, artistic brilliance, and entrepreneurial spirit have left an indelible mark on the entire globe. For centuries, this dynamic ethnic group has wielded an unstoppable force, rising triumphantly from adversity to reach the heights of cultural, economic, and intellectual achievement. Today, we unearth the profound roots and lasting legacy of the indomitable Igbo in an epic journey that transcends history, continents, and the limitations of the human spirit itself. You are about to experience the genius, resilience, and mystery of an African people whose greatness still echoes across generations. We are warriors. Igbo can trace their ancestral roots back to the mighty warrior civilizations of Nri and Arochukwu, whose fearless conquest and military prowess still inspire everyone. For over a millennium, brave Igbo warriors honed in the impenetrable rainforest of West Africa, mastering survival skills, guerrilla tactics, and a profound reverence for their deities of thunder and iron. Elders and historians recount tales of daring exploits where Igbo forces turned mere tools and resources into devastating weapons capable of shattering even the most formidable adversaries. Mana onwero onye ha memina, onwero onye ha nochiri, onweho intention to destroy humanity. As a matter of fact, if you don't understand the word egalitarian, I want to help you now. Dika Igbo society, an egalitarian society is one where all people are considered equal, regardless of race, religion, gender, or age. It has no class system, but people have relatively equal access to wealth and income. Egalitarian societies are concerned with meeting the needs of all their members and reducing inequalities among citizens. Otua ka ọchịchị ndị Igbo si wee malite. Anyị amaghị ihe bụ mmegbu. We regard and respect everyone, including children. And so when it comes to humanity, we practice egalitarian leadership amongst our people. Let us talk about how wealthy Igbo are when it comes to food. Long before industrial agriculture reshaped food systems, the masterful Igbo farmer stood as an icon of revolutionary agricultural ingenuity across West Africa, pioneering advanced soil management techniques like rigging, mulching, and organized crop rotation. Ndị Igbo agricultural scientists unlocked new levels of sustainable soil fertility and productivity. I have a proof to this. Nabinnam Nanibo, and my father's village. They have the Israelites' way of cultivation. They will farm for this particular area for 5 years, and then for the next 3 years they are not going to farm in that particular area. The whole kindred, the whole community, the whole village, we go to another farmland and begin cultivating it. The one that has been left, we are going to source firewood and other things like the goat food from that particular area for the next 3 to 5 years again, in order to let it regain nutrients. Does that make sense? And then the next year we're going to rotate and come back to it maybe 10 years later, maybe 5 years later. This is powerful, and as I'm talking to you, I will shoot a documentary on that and bring it on here for you guys to see. It is still practiced till this day. And that brings me to the gift of the yam cultivation. I want you to listen to Mama Sankofa a moment again regarding this.
Some accounts credit the people of Onye for discovering the secret of yam cultivation. The ability of the Onye to cultivate this highly valued food product gave them advantage over their neighbors who needed to learn their secret to cultivate yam. This scientific breakthrough boosted the profile of the kingdom, and its reputation as a commercial center spread easily far and wide.
Anyway, Obaji. Some of you can attest to the fact that this Obaji will serve our family and our kindred, our relative, from the moment those yams were harvested until the next planting season. Obaji oneka ikanwe these days. And maybe fonyonya so that ndị Igbo will go back to ihe jiwe malani. Ndị be anyị kwesịrị ị na-ebe akwa because we are the masters of storing and saving grains and food. Obaji one ka anyị ka ga-achọta n'ala Igbo n'ụbọchị nke taa. Are we talking about the gift of using irons and bronze to create sculptures, to create things, to design and decorate and beautify? Or are we talking about the creative brilliance of ndị Igbo in beauty, in fashion? Let us again touch on the trade and wealth. Remember that during the transatlantic trade season, they bought ndị Igbo. They specifically sought for ndị Igbo maka na eze ha na-esi ike. Eze, their teeth, their dental arrangement is said to be strong and healthy. Ndị Igbo bụ independent people known for their wealth and good food. Think about that for a moment. And so, chetakwa na anyị bụ ndị ji ife ohu maọbụ ịgba boy wee kechisie all intricate areas and vulnerable places even right after the transatlantic trade season and right after the Biafran War. Ndị Igbo reinforced this strategic wealth building through Igba Boy and started building or rebuilding from the scratch. And that will lead us to asking an important question. Something I wanted to share with you guys before I ask that important question. And I hope you already know that my highlight for this vlog is to dismantle a stereotype placed on ndị Igbo by the media and the enemies of wealth and progress. Though the Civil War ended over 50 years ago, the trauma of the conflict remains deeply embedded in the Igbo consciousness, and this has birthed a Biafran separatist, the man on your screen. Who is he? Our very own. Before we answer this important question about who this man is, I want to show you guys one of the reasons we have people say things like Igbos are domineering, they are dominating, they want to monopolize everything. Wherever an Igbo man comes, he wants to take over everything. No, 1,000 times no. During British colonial rule, ndị Igbo, Southeast Nigeria, were among the groups most educated and favored for administrative roles. This bred resentment among northern Muslim ethnic groups who felt ndị Igbo are being granted with inflated status and privilege. Take a listen.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it, obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area.
International Awiki, and I went to correct an infraction. It is generally believed everywhere that Igbos are hated. Igbos are marginalized. No like Igbo, you know like Igbo. That is what is going on everywhere. I want to correct that. It's not that Igbos are hated, but Igbos are terrible appeared. We are all afraid of the Igbo. Who is not afraid of Igbo? Let us admit the fact. We are all afraid of the Igbo. Not only in Nigeria, ma. Even the British are afraid of the Igbo.
Now, who is this man? I am Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Mind you, Biafra is not an Igbo thing. In Biafra, we have other languages, we have other people included, because Ndi Igbo, again, will practice egalitarian leadership. And so every one of us as Biafrans, we have equal rights. We are seen as the same and we share the same values. Make no mistakes about it. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, is asking